I'm going to do all the talking for the alderman. He's an elected official. He intends to remain in office, and I don't want any of his words misconstrued. I feel like we've already been tried in the press. Thank God that we don't have to have a trial in the press, and I'm not going to try this case in the press because he's already been tried and convicted in the press. Some columnists said that 20 years wasn't enough, which is to tell you what kind of hostility there is when the feds come after a public official. And I respectfully disagree with that position, and we intend to fight these charges, and we think they're wrong, flat out wrong. We think there are a number of legal and factual issues that will be raised, particularly in connection with the recent U.S. Supreme Court in United States versus McDonald, which the governor of Virginia case, who was convicted and then had his campaign, had a conviction reversed. He and his wife were convicted. It's a very serious case. The Seventh Circuit has expressed its opinion on it. There's a very strong opinion by Judge Easterbrook. This is the whole issue of money and politics is a big issue in the law right now, and this case couldn't be more poignant in that respect. There has to be clarity. The Supreme Court has made it clear that there has to be tremendous clarity when you try to take the issue of money and convert it to bribery. There has to be a quid pro quo in order to do that, and we don't believe that this indictment alleges a quid pro quo, and even if it does, it's wrong. Money, unfortunately, as these opinions say, is a fact of life in modern politics. If anybody needs a better example, all you need to do is read today's Tribune about the mayor's emails and the amount of money that's discussed in there. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with this either, but what I am saying is when it comes to mixing money and politics, it becomes very controversial, and the Supreme Court is making it more difficult to convict on it, rightly so, because there is such a mixture of money and politics right now. Okay, you want to look at campaign contributions, you want to look at the amount of money. The alderman in Woodlawn doesn't quite get the same amount of money as the alderman in Streeterville. Look it up. The numbers are astronomical. This whole fund, by the way, Russ, is only $177,000. Okay? Go take a look at some of the contributions in the 42nd Ward, the 1st Ward. Okay? And that's over 4 years, $177,000. There are some aldermen that can raise that money in one fundraiser. So a lot of it depends on what part of town you're on. Just like, maybe zoning changes on Cedar Street are different than they are on Stony Island. I don't know. Okay? Are you kidding me that, that somehow somebody would want to be an alderman in the 20th Ward to make money? You have to be nuts to think you could make any money being the alderman in the 20th Ward.
Are you planning to take this to trial and not take any kind of plea deal?
As far as I know, absolutely. Why not?
What element of the quid pro quo is missing?
I don't know what they think the quid pro quo is. You'll notice there's no dates in the indictment. It's kind of interesting. Somehow these bribes took place over like a 18-month or 2-year period. Kind of interesting. But there's only one check, one payment of money. That's because there wasn't a quid pro quo. It's as simple as that.
Is there a message the alderman would like to give to his constituents this time of year about this situation?
The message the alderman gives is that he's going to fulfill his duties that they elected him to do, that he's always fulfilled them honestly and faithfully, and he will continue to do so. And he wishes everybody a Merry Christmas.
Does the alderman have a gambling problem?
Pardon me?
Does the alderman have a gambling problem?
Not that I'm aware of. He does gamble, though. That's true. There is evidence that he does gamble. I think the government has records of, cash withdrawals from near casinos, but last I heard, gambling wasn't outlawed yet either. So.
Does the alderman have a drinking problem?
Not that I'm aware of. I'm the only one with a drinking problem.
Were the
But I
withdrawals
haven't been drinking 38 years, so how about that?
Were the withdrawals made from the 20th Ward Activities Fund account?
I don't know. know. I don't have we were hoping to get some discovery today, but because we asked for it in a different format, it's going to take the government longer. We won't get it till, what they said, second week of January. This is going to be a long, drawn-out affair. There are legal and factual issues here that are pretty serious. If you don't believe me, don't believe me. But I think there are. Well, I haven't reviewed any forensic analysis of the account. I also haven't reviewed any of I don't believe there was a lot of specificity in any solicitation. My understanding is this was an account that was used to do things in the ward. My understanding is that the things it set out to do, it did. It brought meals to people, it brought assistance to people, and there's no question that the alderman used some of the money. But there's also no question that he put money back in. So I don't know what you'd characterize it as. In hindsight, maybe I'd characterize it as stupid, or careless, or maybe if he could have afforded to go to Winston & Strawn or Jenner & Black or somebody else, they would have said no, set it up as a 501c3 and get a board of directors and insulate yourself from it. You can do a lot of things looking backwards, but you have to understand, and that's where I'm saying things are different in Woodlawn than they are in Streeterville. You just don't have the money to have high-powered people giving you advice.